Hey family, how you doing? Welcome to a whole nother broadcast. So glad that you guys are here and you're joining me, you're with me. I hope you had a wonderful week so far. We are already at Thursday, February the 1st. Can you believe it? January is for the history books, y'all. January 2024 is for the history books. We will never, ever have the opportunity to experience January of 2024 ever again. It's done. It's over. It's a complete wrap. We can't go back to it. Now we are in a brand new month, the month of February of 2024. If you're just thinking that, oh, it's just Black History Month, you're thinking too small and you're thinking too low. This month gives us another opportunity to either make or break something. You can either you can make great strides into going even further in your maturity and your understanding and cutting off dead weight from last year, or you can allow that dead weight and all that foolishness to break you and come on and bring as you're bringing it on from one year to another. The choice is yours. It's a brand new month, and I hope you make the most of it. And I hope and here's to some great strides this month. So again, so glad to see each and every one of you guys. Just coming back from a trip back to the East Coast to see my beautiful mother. And, we had great opportunity to spend time with each other and, drove all the way down to Richmond, Virginia, and we stopped at DC, went to the African American Museum and all of that. All of that was wonderful, and so glad had the opportunity to jump on a quick plane ride and go there. But I'll tell you and I had a red eye flight, and I'm gonna tell you, I loved it. You know why I love the red eye flights? Because everybody be on their sleep. They might be farting on there, but they're asleep. But they sleep. I ain't want nobody, no yelling and all that, with the babies and all that. And listen, we traveled with children, and we know, when you travel with children, small children, they get tired, and it's understandable. So I don't, if I'm traveling or if I'm somewhere and a child is screaming, and hollering or whatever, as a parent, I have a tolerance for that. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't tick me off when I hear baby. Ah! What gets me is when you have parents who just sit there and don't do anything. You know what I mean? It's like they think they're teaching them a lesson by not addressing them. I'm like, no, you're not teaching them a lesson because it's getting louder and louder. You ain't teaching them a lesson. It's getting on our nerves. Can you please do something? You know what I'm saying? And right before I got on the plane, on my way to, I flew into Newark. They got a whole Jewish thing going on. I mean, I saw a whole bunch of rabbis and their families getting on Phoenix and then landing in in Newark. And it was a whole bunch, because I know in Newark you got a significant Jewish population there, and I've actually talked about that. And we've even talked about the Black community that they replaced and how they did it. It's just very wicked how they did it. But anyway, getting way off there. But yeah, it was a whole bunch of them on there. But anyway, I'm mentioning that because I sat down, waiting for the plane. Right, I'm sitting at the gate, and I hear this like. And I'm hearing this, and I was like, what is that? And I see this guy, he looked kind of Mexican, and he had he had like this little book, he had his phone, and he had it up, and he was like looking at it. So I said, well, maybe, special needs or something like that. I don't know, but I'll hang around a little bit, but this is sounding a little weird. And so, I was sitting there, right? And, I'm trying to I'm getting my bag together and all that. And I was like, hey man, this dude ain't stopping. I was like, who the? So I turned my head and looked, it wasn't him. It was the person sitting next to him. It was a whole Hasidic Jew sitting right there, like a rabbi. Like I said, he had the black hat on and everything. He had his prayer book. And he was praying and all that. And I said, listen, you pray to whomever you want, but man, why you gotta be so loud, man? But it would sound a little scary. But anyway, then I got off the plane, and and then I was waiting for the shuttle to come, to pick me up, but ended up being in the wrong spot. But it was this whole black van that pulled up, and it was a whole bunch of them on there. I was like, man, they must really got something going on here. I know maybe they shipping in people for that tunnel thing. I don't know. But that was really something. And so, another thing I learned too, now this is in New Jersey, if you, because I was going to, it's probably still in my bag, your Easy Pass. For some of you who live in states that have the Easy Pass, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know, basically it's like a way of paying for tolls without cash or whatever. You just fill it up and then you just put it in your window or whatever. Anyway, I was going to get rid of mine because we don't have it out here. And so I kept delaying or whatever and didn't do it. And then I said, you know what? I still got it here. Let me bring it with me. I brought it with me, went to the car rental place to, get the car and all that. And she asked, do you want a Easy Pass? I said, well, no. I said, I actually brought mine with me because I didn't know if it would work or not because I'm renting a car. It wasn't my actual car. But I called the night before and they said, no, you can use it with any car. You just have to, put the license tag on there and all that, which I did once I got to the airport and got the car and all that. And I said, just curious. I said, well, how much would it cost if I get the Easy Pass with y'all? Just out of curiosity. It was almost $200. $200 for their Easy Pass. And I had one in my hand. I was like, nah, I got mine. I'm good. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind too when you if you have your Easy Pass, and let's say if you move out of state, and hold on to it because you never know. And I still got some money on it, so I'm holding on to mine because I'm definitely gonna be back on the East Coast, so visiting and all of that. So it's definitely something worth having, and I would suggest don't get rid of it. I would definitely suggest don't get rid of it as well. But because it. Yeah, almost $200. I was surprised. I thought she was gonna say 50, but when you really think about it, it does kind of make sense because the Easy Pass system, I know it covers Ohio, as far west as Ohio. It might even go further than that. And then of course it's like the tri-state area. I don't know if it's all of New York. I'm pretty sure it's New York, all of New York, New Jersey, Delaware. I'm not sure about Connecticut, Delaware, DC. There's really no tolls in Virginia that I'm aware of. Yeah, it covers quite a bit. So yeah, if you got it, I would say just hold on to it. But yeah, that was crazy. But anyway, other than that, it was a wonderful trip. The only thing, it was cloudy the whole time. It was literally cloudy the whole time. And the sun came out a little bit, but man, the sun had to do some battle this week when I was there. It was, woo. It was no joke, man. But it was, and it was cold and all that, and but it was nice seeing my aunt. I got an aunt, 80 years old. When we pulled up at her house, she was out there dancing. I mean, like moving, swaying. I got her on video too. I would play, but I ain't gonna play it here. I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna embarrass her. But I do have it. Well, no, I got part of the dance. I got part of it. And because I'm driving. We passed the house, and I passed it intentionally because I'm making a U-turn, and I see out of the corner of my eye, I see this little short person dancing. I was like, I thought that was maybe one of my cousin's children or something like that. I was like, who's that? And I was like, oh, that's my aunt, 80 years old, and she was out there dancing and all of that, and it was just so good seeing them and all that. But I was excited to see that because that gives me a lot of hope because when I get that age. That means there's a very high probability I'm going to be moving like that too, And so, yes. So I was very encouraged to see that, you know what I mean? So yeah, that means my genes must be okay then. Anyway. But yeah, that was good. It was good to see that. And then I have my cousin's children, had a chance to catch up with at least one of them. And, what else? Man, that's it. I took a lot of video, and unfortunately quite a bit of it I can't use because it just came up so bad. It was because it was cloudy and all that. And it was probably something I was doing on my cameras as well. So anyway, so but there's some of it I can use. If you if you didn't get the opportunity, or if you haven't had the opportunity to go see the African American Museum in Washington D.C., I would highly encourage you to make the trip. It is definitely worth the effort, at least to see it once. At least to see it once. Can you see it in all one day? I would say, some people say yes, other people say no. There's a part that we did not see. I didn't see. This is my third time going, and it's a part they said is like near the top floor where it will look at genealogy. Like, I think if you give them your last name, they're able to track your lineage a little bit and all that. Yeah, they got a whole bunch of stuff there. We're in the now. I understand perfectly that. Listen, as soon as you walk in there, the first thing you see is Bill and Melinda Gates. Right, you see that because they threw a lot of money in there. Oprah Winfrey did, and then there's a whole bunch of other people that this is the reality. Okay, this is the African American Museum, and it's in D.C. Now, let's just be real for a second. Do you really think that they are going to tell everything about who we are, as a people and all that stuff in the museum? It's state sanctioned. Of course they're not. Okay, so I already know. Okay, so, but I wasn't going in there like that. Like, yeah, y'all ain't telling everything, and yeah, all that. Some people, they just come in with a sour thing. Don't come in with that. Just, you already know they ain't gonna tell you everything. Okay, you already know that. But I will tell you that just the amount of information that was made available and all housed under one roof, it's a very moving, very emotional thing to experience. And like I said, I do have a video that I am gonna do. I'll upload it tomorrow. Yeah, that'll be one part of it. It's a very emotional thing. It was one part I was almost in tears and looking at one thing, because I was like, just to see the struggle that our people went through. And it's not the museum, trust me, it's not all slavery. It ain't all struggle. They got a whole section about all the wonderful things that as a people that we've invented, put together, came together, did this, that, or whatever. They got a whole separate section just of nothing but that. So don't think for one moment it's all like slavery. It's not that at all. They had one special exhibition that I've never seen before, and it was on Afrofuturism. Yeah, Afrofuturism. And that was on the bottom floor. Very well done. Oh my gosh, that was very well done. Very, very well done. They didn't just throw that. That wasn't thrown together at all. When I tell you, they really put a lot of thought into that. They started like thousands of years into African history and talking about how, some of the things we've talked on this platform about how, Africans, Central South Africa, literally all over the continent, had this understanding about the cosmology and stars and, and all this other stuff. So they started all the way back then, like all the way back then. And then they brought it up like slowly but surely. And then you went from all the way there to all of a sudden the the starship, the Funkadelics. They brought it all the way there, but it's all connected though. It's all connected. And to see the root of where that all comes from is really fascinating. What RJ said, I studied a bit of Afrofuturism. It's a very fascinating topic. It really, for me, when I was seeing all this together, and I actually, RJ, I do have some footage of that whole wing that I will upload too. So you definitely want to check that out. I'll get that up. But it really renewed in me. I've always been kind of interested in it, but I was like, man, I really want to look into this even further. I mean, they had pictures up there I've never seen. I mean, they had a lot of stuff up there. I was like, wow. It's really, really fascinating. I would really encourage you to look into that, just even a little bit. I mean, if you think for one moment, futurism is something that started with white folks and it started with the Jetsons and Star Trek and Star Wars, Yeah, no, it goes back much, much further than that. It's really interesting when I'm on Twitter. For some reason, I keep getting on the far right racism wing. I don't even know how I end up on that whole thing on my stream, but it comes down there. And so they, some of these guys, they do these memes where they say, well, we came to Africa, talking about these white people. They said, well, we came to Africa, basically, y'all were all butt naked. We had to teach y'all technology. We had to teach y'all how to bathe and all this stuff. It's fascinating just to sit there and watch these people in their delusion. And it's like, yeah, okay. But but again, that's what they're taught. That's what they're taught, and that's what they believe. And sadly and unfortunately, we have a lot of our own people who are now repeating those same lies and saying that in regards to Africa and all of that, and just want to say that they from the beginning didn't know anything or anything like that. Family, there's so much information, there's so much out there, things out there that is waiting for you to explore and to discover, about history in of itself. It's very fascinating. I would really encourage you to do that, and that's what we try to do here. But anyway, what they did, that wing, I will say, they did a very, very, I would say, very good job with that. They did very good with that. And then there's some other wings there too. But like I said, again, I will be uploading pieces of it tomorrow. I'll have this one part. We're going to talk a little bit about Southern economics. And yes, we're going to tell the truth, because I told y'all, gave y'all a little hint. I said, when I come back, I'm not playing. And this broadcast tonight, it's going to be a sign of more things to come. When I tell you I'm really not playing, I'm really not playing. Not that I was playing before, but I'm really not playing now. My tolerance level is just fried right now. I mean, it's done. I'm not, I don't, you try to be nice. You try to be, give people opportunity or whatever. But now I don't have that in me no more. It's done. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you why in a moment. But anyway, so glad that you guys have joined me this evening. If this is your first time, welcome. So glad that you guys could join us on this platform that you're on. We talk about numbers of things. Okay. So we really love history. We're my wife and I, Nicole, we've spent years and years in Christianity. We pretty much grew up in the church. And then there was a time where we left the church, came out of that for a while. We were kind of what we were saying, kind of like in a wilderness kind of situation, because at that time we just could not, every church we were going to, it would just seem like it was falling apart. People would you start off friendly and all of a sudden they stab me in the back and all this stuff. And I got tired of it. We ran out of the church system because by this time our children were starting to get a little bit older. And the thing I did not want for them was to get attached to people in that system and to see that all of a sudden them flip on them like that. You know what I'm saying? They were too young to experience that. I mean, life is life and things do happen, and I understand, but they were too young to, to deal with that. My wife and I, is something we've experienced that quite a bit in our lives. But, when you're dealing with small children that are just starting to put their trust out and starting to get to know people, we had to make some decisions, say, enough is enough. Clearly there's something wrong with this system. And until we can figure out what's going on with this system, because we were going from one church, we spent a great deal of time with that church, get really involved in it. And then it just seemed like it was the same story over and over again. Same games, same foolishness over and over again. It didn't matter. From the black churches that we went to the white churches, to the ones that were in between, that everything is everything. God don't see color churches. We've been through quite a bit of them. I've been with local churches and small churches, and we've also been with national level ministries as well. And like I said, again, there are many, many stories that I could share, and we definitely, between my wife and I, could certainly write several books, but this ain't the time right now. I'm so far removed from that. But anyway, and so from there was a little break, and then we, sooner or later we came across this whole Hebrew thing, and we got into that, like many of you, we came across, the pastor that is departed from us, Stephen Darby. And, one of his messages we came across and we could not stop watching him. I mean, he was bringing a lot of great information, things I never even thought of as it pertains to black folks and our connection to the Bible and all of that. And it really opened my eyes to a number of things. What I will say out of that experience is that I learned the importance of further investigation. It renewed my desire to investigate things further, because what he was confirming was, if anything, he confirmed that this thing called the Bible needs to be questioned. This is why it's so funny to me today that when we question the Bible, we're off. But when you have someone like a Stephen Darby who did it, that's what he did. Oh, that's different. I'm not mad about that. Don't understand what I'm saying. The man, I'm going on, okay? But what I'm saying is this is what religion does. And so, we were in the Hebrew thing for a good while. Many of you have been with us through that whole journey. But the same stuff began to start popping up again. It was the same churchy stuff all over again. And I'm like, wait a minute. I thought we left all this behind. Why is it? I thought this was supposed to be different. I thought this was supposed to be all different again. I didn't know it was going to be this. It's the same thing. Why is it the same thing? I thought all of this, we moved from church to being a nation, like Eddie Long would say, a nation. Never said nation. It's all, we're not a church. We are a nation. So I thought we were moving into that. No, it was the same stuff. Same exact stuff. Same backbiting. Same arguing. Same haterade. It was just, the only difference was people were dressed up like, whatever it was, the head scarves and the head wraps and all that stuff. But it was the same spirit. It was the same stuff. And I'm sitting up here like, wait a minute, I thought that we left this stuff behind. So that caused me to really start looking. I'm like, wait a minute, what's the common thread in all of this? And as I started investigating on my own and start looking, I started seeing, wait a minute. As I continue to look at this thing further, now I'm starting to see the foundation itself is off. It's the foundation. And then as we start asking more and more questions, things started adding up and I began to understand. And I was like, oh, I get it now. And boy, oh boy, it was very hard. It was extremely difficult. And for the umpteenth time, the whole time I have maintained and I've told people, y'all, nobody here is telling you to throw out the Bible. Nobody's telling you to do that. But the Bible is something like any other piece of literature. It demands to be investigated, just like anything else. And even for someone to even hear me say that the Bible demands to be investigated, there's something in some of y'all, when you even hear that, it pricks you. It's like, I don't like you saying that. You mean the Bible? We're not supposed to question anything. He said it, I believe it, and that settles it. No, you should question it. The Bible says itself, out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let every word be established. So there are other historical witnesses that also have a story to say. They were also present during these alleged times mentioned in the Bible. Why can't we talk to them? Oh, don't talk to them. Whatever you do, don't you dare talk to them. No, we need to listen to all of it. And you got a good enough brain in your head. You can weigh out. Hopefully you got some discernment. You can weigh these things out. Some people may be on track. Other people may not be. You know what I'm saying? And then you come up, whatever conclusion you come up with that. That's it. Plain and simple. So for those that, again, if you're listening to me and you come, like I said, we get the comments all the time. I'm just confused. I don't know how many times people say, I don't know where you are. Cause first you're talking about this and now I'm saying, well, clearly you've been missing quite a few videos. We've been very clear. If you've had any questions, I've made my email address open and available. You can email me at any time. It may take me a minute to get to you, but I'm here. We've had broadcasts where we'll ask people to almost beg people to call in. People all of a sudden, they're like, I don't know, I want to call. Now I'm saying you get quiet. So then what that leaves you with is using our comment section as a way for you to, write your whole dissertation and then leave. And then the moment I respond to it, why are you attacking me? Why are you triggered? I'm like, I'm just simply responding to your comment. And your comments got a lot of assumptions. So I'm trying to help you in clearing some of this stuff up. It's a madhouse. I'm telling you, it's really something. But that's what we need to do. And so it's very, for many people, at least I know for the things that we talk about and we deal with and points we raise up on this platform, it can be very uncomfortable. I understand that and I get that. And it's uncomfortable for me too, because these are things that I have been a very major part of my life. I'm not throwing all of it out because there's some good things in there that I must hold on to. Do you understand what I'm saying? I must hold on to some of these things. But what I'm here to tell you is that there's more. There is. Nobody's telling you to worship another God. Nobody's telling you to worship another deity. Okay? Nobody's telling you to do that at all. Okay? So, whoever's saying that, or if you're floating out there saying that, then you a lie, because I never suggested that and and never will, as far as I'm concerned. Okay? So, man, I tell you, there's a lot more I could say, but for now, I'll just say, listen, my goal in life is to live in harmony with nature, what our Creator put out there, to live in harmony with that, and to live in peace and harmony with mankind, with other people that come my way. Okay. Now, the key word there is harmony. I can't harmonize with someone that's out of tune. Let me say that again. You cannot harmonize if someone is out of tune. In other words, if someone is in your life and they always sound like that a string that's just all busted up like imagine you got this nice guitar and then the fourth string, instead of it being a real string, it's a shoestring. How you think that's going to sound? I can't harmonize with that person. They're going to have to go. You're gone. Deuces, you're going. You're out of here. You understand what I'm saying? So there's some weeding out that has to happen. You know what I mean? There's some weeding out that has to happen when it comes to people that you're with, people that you associate with. There's some weeding out that you have to do. You understand what I'm saying? So living in harmony with people, understanding nature as our Creator has made, and understanding that and learning those lessons from all of that. And there's a lot more too, but that's really the basics. That's it. So you're not going to see me, but I don't feel any kind of way and I have to go after people because they have a different belief system than I do. I don't feel any compulsion that I got to go and convert you to this, that, or whatever. You believe what you want to believe. Do you understand what I'm saying? Believe what you want to believe. It's just it. That's how I see it. Okay. And that's it. There you go. So anyway, tonight's topic, the topic tonight is, it's time for us, family, to start going after the lazy and the non-readers amongst our people. It's time to do that. Okay. And I'll keep this part. We're going to be very pointed. We're going to be very direct, to the point, and that's it. Okay. And it ain't got to be a long thing. We're just going to be straight up. Okay. But yeah, so because amongst our people, and I'm specifically talking about black folks, it ain't exclusive to black people, but I'm talking about black folks. We have tolerated, like someone left a comment, and they mentioned I forgot the whole comment. I don't have it in front of me, but I said, that's the first problem, is that we have to make sure we define who we is. Because I think a lot of times we just think that we assume that, I guess we have in our mind that this day is coming and all black people are just going to click in and we're all going to be marching in one accord. You're dreaming. You are dreaming. Because if black people right now are fighting and killing each other and cussing each other out and condemning and sending each other to hell back and forth, what makes you think, what crack pipe are you smoking to make you believe that somehow this magical mist is going to descend from the sky and all of a sudden people are going to start acting like they got sense and start loving each other again? That doesn't work. It never worked. We don't have any historical precedent to point us to show us that that's something that's ever happened. It doesn't happen. There are Negroes, black people that hate you and they are committed to killing you. Do you understand what I'm saying when I say that? That's true. There are people that will before a blink of an eye, if they can get over on you, they will do it. And I think we have to get that in mind. On the flip, there are many black folks out there that aren't like that. They do want to see the good in you and want to build that up so that you can be a better version of yourself. You understand what I'm saying? So you have that. But I think what we do, the problem that we encounter a lot of times is that we conflate the two together. You can't do that. So specifically what we're talking about is that you got Negroes out here that we have been giving audience to that don't even want to read. They don't want to even pick up a book or read anything. They don't want to listen. Instead, they want to be heard. And they're lazy. So we have to start drawing the line and saying enough is enough. You can no longer participate in any public discourse when progress is being discussed, because you sure enough ain't an agent of change. You're not that. So you need to get up out of here. And I'm going to share with you something that just happened right before I came live tonight, just as an illustration as to why we are in a time right now where the lazy, the non-readers, there's no space for you. And we're drawing the line right now on that. Now, many of you are aware of, the whole needle thing, the jab thing, right? I got to talk a little abbreviated here for a moment, right? And it's really interesting. Let me pull this up here. This was in the news. This just popped up. I'm starting to see a bunch of articles like this now coming up. It's fun. It's not funny, but it's articles like this now. Now all of a sudden, articles like this are starting to pop up. If I was on BondTube, I could really give you some more information as to something else that's on the rise right now. I'll just say it. It's very interesting. They're starting to see another thing that's on the rise right now is HIV. Now, when this thing was breaking out, what we did on this platform is we had to move everything over to our own platform to really give a lot of information as it pertains to this thing. Okay. And because it was really that serious. And we didn't just get up here and use the Bible as our only reference point and try to try to bend scriptures to make it fit to this and that or whatever. We really tried to avoid that. Instead, what we did was we said, listen, let's listen to people who have years and years of experience in this field, and let's listen to them and what they have to say on this. In the meantime, we may not be licensed in that field, but we can read, but we do have a mind, but we can reason, but we can look at things and deduct, we have deductive reason. We can look at this and that or whatever. So we're going to use what we got. Okay. And that's exactly what we did. And so we put out a ton of information and sharing with people about this thing. and really warning. And so, but since that, every people went out, and I mean, we have loved ones and people that we reached, sent information out to, and they, uh, basically, I'll be nice. I mean, they did what they did what they wanted to do, basically. So anyway, but we shared it anyway. I mean, I remember one night going to bed, and man, my wife, she was still up. I mean, stack of information. She's sending this out. Please read it. There you go. So anyway, so a while back I did in share my own or our own testimony. It was a church that we were part of in Atlanta. Is years ago, and we were part of the, I don't know what you want to call it, the charter group or whatever, but we actually helped build that church in Atlanta, right? We were part of the group. Nicole and I, we were friends, but we weren't married, we weren't dating. It wasn't nothing like that at all at that time. And it was a small group of us. And, when we fast forward, things started getting crazy in that church, and we decided to leave. And when we left, these same people the next day acted as if they didn't know us. I mean, it was amazing to see the day we decided to pull out and to end our relationship with that church. The next day, people deuces. I mean, they act like they didn't know us. We had one couple that called us and was saying that we're being used by the devil, and the wife called my wife. Well, I forgot where I was. How did it go? Yeah, the wife called my wife and told her that you listen to the devil. I said, so we were like, okay, so basically I'm the devil. I'm the devil. Yeah, so call my wife. So I called the husband. I said, listen, you need to you need to speak to your wife. Don't be going the back route and trying to slip that kind of stuff in my household. That's why I have, from time to time, I will have spouses, wives that will email us and ask for just some basic advice about, how do I talk to my husband about this, that, or whatever. I'm very brief because you're not going to entrap me in anything. What I tell them is very general. I said, love him. That's it. Love him. I'm not going to give you some strategies on how you need to communicate and tell him about the truth and all the other Bible and all that. I ain't telling you. No, love him. How about that? Love him. Pray and ask for help on what's the best way you can love your husband. That's all I'm going to tell you. I ain't going to be telling you, child, listen, give him a link to this video and give him a link. That's manipulation. That's manipulation. That's right. And I'm going to call it exactly what it is. Any Negro that's out here doing this kind of stuff, for you women out there, you wives out there, don't you be taking no advice like that from these ashy Negroes out here. And they telling you, child, slip them my book, give them my video, give them this and that. Don't you do that. Don't you dare do that. That's manipulation. I will not be the third person in your marriage. Now, I'll give you, again, I'm going to be extremely general, and I will also leave it off with, hey, listen, if he wants someone to talk to, here's my contact information. He can always reach out to me, and I'm going to leave it very open. I ain't doing no Nick at Night stuff. You ain't going to catch me with that. No, sir. No, sir. But that's the same foolishness I saw going on in the church. But anyway, let's keep it moving. So anyway, small group. This is a small group of people that we're very familiar with. I would have to say one. I'm just going through briefly here. 1, 2, let's see. 1, between, I would say at least 4 people, at least within the last 5 months gone in this small group. And it's all like similar stuff that's related to the you know what. And we've checked and I said, did they take the thing? Yeah. And so today, now, just a couple of weeks ago, we got notification of somebody who, the woman that called my wife, yeah, her, gone. Now, I'm not going to get up here and say she was cursed by the Most High. No. We ain't doing that. I'm not going there. I'm just talking about what I know. Okay? Gone. Her husband, gone. And it was along the same lines. I have to talk very brief here because, you know, I'm on this plantation. I can't really give you all the details on the things about this, but it's all related to the new you know what. And then today, my wife and I are in the car. She goes into the store. I'm sitting in the car waiting for her. She comes back shocked and she says, Dwayne, I just got a text message. This other person in this small group gone. And what I'm finding is like, there's like this, it's almost like it's timed, because it ain't just us. It was somebody else we were talking about that was saying, man, in the last few months, it's about like 5 to 8 people just gone, just like that. And family, you know, all that talk we were doing, all that information we were providing the whole time, not just us, but there were many, many other people out here that were putting their channels and stuff at risk to share this information and saying, listen, if you don't take the time to read through this stuff, ask questions and investigate, this is what it's looking like. And we've been telling people, you know, told people, and now the chickens are coming home. And I'm getting and it was something, because when this one person, this couple of weeks ago, when we heard that she passed, I asked, I kind of mentioned, I said, I think I mentioned to my wife, I was like, I said, wouldn't that be something? What if I said, now if someone else passed, I said, now that's going to be really something. It was about 2 weeks later. We just got the call today, or the text today, someone else showing up, it passed. And so what it looks like to me, like I said, not just based on our little, you know, what we're talking about, but there's other people as well that have made mention of, it seemed like some of these people are going out in groups. It's almost like whatever this thing was, it's certainly some timer kind of factor to it. Now, I know I don't have any proof to show you. I don't have any studies or anything like that. All I can go by is what I have seen and what I've experienced. That's all I can go by. Okay? That's all I can go by. But apparently, from what I'm seeing, and especially when it's like, wait a minute, why are these people saying they checking out in groups? What was the common thread? Once you look, you see what it is. And these are people that the information was out there. And a lot of these people were not dumb people at all. They weren't dummies. I mean, is one individual, at least I know had a doctorate or something. They weren't dummies. But there were a lot of people, if y'all recall and remember, there weren't all these people who did the you know what they were not dummies. These were smart people. But when it came to this, it was like their brain just checked out at the door. And now all of a sudden, they're checking out permanently now. And what I'm seeing is, I'll turn my ringer off. This all centers around when you don't take the time to read and you don't take the time to investigate or ask questions on your own. This is the result now. This is why this topic is so serious. And why we have to be just as serious when it comes to telling people, if you will not take the time to read, if you won't take the time to ask questions, then you have no part in this conversation. Just keep it right on moving. Because see, now lives are at stake right now. Our lives are literally at stake right now. I ain't trying to scare people. I'm just telling you the facts right now. This is right now. We are in the window of time where it was talked about then. If you do this, this will more than likely happen. Now we're in the more than likely can happen era. Now we're there. Now what? You're going to kick the can down again and look for something else? Well, all I know is shoot, at any given day, he going to blow that trumpet and he going to take us away and all this stuff. You done checked out. No. What are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? Is that your mindset? The things that for example, when I sit up here on this platform and I tell people our commitment is to get as many of our black folks out of these freaking hospitals as possible. I'm not just saying that just to be saying that. I'm saying that because I understand if we don't do it, there's going to be a lot more Negroes out here dying. That's why I'm saying that. I'm not just saying this just to be saying it. I'm saying it because I understand it to be true. That's my priority right now. My priority ain't reparations right now. My priority isn't marching and getting on Twitter and I'm arguing and debating and who's FBA and versus who's a Native American. That ain't my priority right now. My priority right now is to make sure that my family is on high ground. And then also to have some resources for other people too, to make sure they're getting what they need so that they can get on high ground as well. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so this is why we tell people, listen, now, like what we do on Somber Tree, for example, we're telling people, hey, listen, we make this stuff available, but also take some initiative and read about some of these herbs and stuff on your own. We can only share but so much because we're just us, you know what I mean? But there's so many other people out there who are very knowledgeable and very skillful in the area of like herbs and wellness and, and weaning off of these medicines and stuff like that. They are very knowledgeable in that. And you need to read it. You got to read it. But a lot of our people, unfortunately, they don't want to read a doggone thing. They want someone just to tell them what to do. And what I'm saying, it's time for you to grow up and not be like those people. You have to pick up a book and you're going to have to investigate a lot of this stuff on your own. Y'all saw the comment that I posted on the community page just the other day. I had a woman said, I ain't got time to do no investigation and all that. And, dog, I'm just asking a simple question. And, I don't really recall, you don't really need it shouldn't require a college degree and all that. No, ain't nobody talking about no college degree. I'm just saying, read what's already been written. How about that? Listen to what's already been said. How about that? Yeah, I'm not mad, my face or whatever, but my point is that if I cannot be like this, if I can't tell you straight up now, then what? Right now, like I said again, there's literally several people I can point to right in my own whatever that are gone now because the information was out there. They didn't want to listen. They didn't want to read. And I'm seeing so many of our people right now that are just like that. They don't want to read. They want someone to tell them what to believe. I can't do that. All I can do here is present to you information, and then it's on you to investigate that on your own and for you to make up your own mind. But especially when it comes to your health. I can't be more serious about your health than you are. Your health especially should be the highest priority that you should have right now. Let me say that again, because I don't think y'all hear me right now, because you expect me to say, it's your soul, honey. Your soul's got to be right. I don't care how your health is. It's your soul. No, your health. Your health. Let me say that again. Your health is priority. Why am I saying that? Because if you are full of sickness and disease, it's going to, in most cases, correlate to your soul. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? But see, religion don't tell you that, do it? Religion tells you, though he slay me, yet I would trust in him. Honey, maybe you need to go somewhere where you ain't getting slayed by these doctors in white coats, and you need to go and get yourself together, get your mind clear so that you can get in a place where you're mind can be clear, your mind can be whole, so that you can now make some better decisions for your life. I've already been saying this over and over again. The healthcare system don't like you. They hate you. They hate your black behind. I don't even know how else to say it. I literally don't know how else to say it. People be getting out here complaining, oh, Biden, he don't care about us because he ain't do nothing about the healthcare bill, and he taking away Obamacare. Why are you still worrying about Obamacare? Well, then when Trump come in office, he ain't gonna really care. Why are you worrying about that? Again, I'm not telling people to cancel all your insurance and all that. Please don't go to the extreme like that. Nobody's saying that. But what I am saying is this. You cannot build your entire health plan, if you will, on what the government is or is not giving. You understand what I'm saying? So what is that? So I got to reel it back. So it goes back to being a people that's informed. Okay, being a people that's known for doing our own investigation and reading. Because if we don't do that, people will die. It's just that's as simple as that. It's just very simple as that. If you think for one moment, I'm spending all my days in a room full of books and I'm just going through books, I don't have time to be reading all the time, but I do read and I do investigate. Okay, I can balance the two. I can walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. And many people can do that as well. The problem I'm running into now is the short attention span generation. A lot of people, it's one thing when you're dealing with younger people who have short attention spans, but it's another thing when you're dealing with people who are older and even older than you who have short attention spans and they don't want to hear anything. This is our number one fight right now, especially amongst our people. It's a thing it's a big thing. You remember there was a article that talks about this whole new phenomenon, whatever they call it, TikTok brain, where people just, if you can't fit it within 60 seconds, then people don't tune out. I was listening to just to get, learning about YouTube metrics and all that stuff, just to learn it, I was just something to watch or whatever. And you'll be amazed that the channels that really invest a lot of time in, building their channel, and I'm not including the people who buy followers, because there's a lot of people who buy followers too. I've talked about that. Okay. But I'm talking about people who understand the metrics and all that, and how to, the thumbnails and how you title it and all this other stuff. A lot of it centers around people. And what I'm learning is that a lot of it is centered around keeping people's attention beyond 30 seconds. It's amazing. This whole marketing world has changed dramatically, because it's like, if you lose people within the first 15 seconds or even the first 5 seconds, they're gone. They ain't going to pay attention to you anymore. And this is where we are right now. Family, you're talking over 400 years where our people have been deceived. How the heck do you think you're going to be deprogrammed? You're going to deprogram yourself of all of that in a few seconds. It's impossible. So yes, it is going to require some time for you to investigate and to unlearn a lot of stuff. It's going to take a lot of time. You probably can't stand, some of y'all may not even stand me. I don't care. But daggone it, pick up a book. You know what I mean? Don't just be repeating what you saw on a meme. Investigate yourself. And I don't have to keep repeating this over and over again, because this is really the extent of the message for this particular broadcast. And that is, so one of the steps that we're doing on this platform is, again, if someone disagrees with me or disagrees with us on anything, it's totally fine. I don't care. And you're respectful or whatever. It's okay. It's cool. But if you're wanting to engage in conversation and you're throwing up all kinds of stuff that can't be proven, and I'm asking you, hey, source what you're saying, and you refuse to do it, you will be blocked. You will be blocked and you will be banned from this platform. As simple as that. So some of y'all may or may not have noticed that, wait a minute, I saw their comment there. Their comment is gone. Now, the gossipy side of some of y'all be like, yeah, child, see, he just don't like people that don't agree with him. No, that's not it at all. I'm trying to have a conversation with you and you're throwing up all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, where are you getting this from? Because listen, it's more, one thing about love is this. You can't just say you love somebody and don't demonstrate it. The one thing I can say about what we try to do here is that we try to demonstrate the love that we have for the people that are brought near us. You know what I mean? Whoever, you know, whatever, whoever comes near us, we try to demonstrate that. We try to be hospitable by really taking the time and to comb through things and to make sure that we're giving you accurate information. And even if we miss it, we're saying still go look, here's the rest of the source. You look through it and you investigate, and then you come up with your own conclusion. No, that, listen, I'll buy the book for you and you take it. This is the way we try to demonstrate the love for our people. Now, there are many platforms out here that won't demonstrate that. They'll just read you just a tiny bit of something and tell you what to think and tell you what to believe. And if you dare question them on what they're saying, then they're ready to throw you out. So there's a lot of people out here that may say or claim that they care for you and love for you. But if they loved you, why are they not telling you the whole truth on stuff? Did you see the last video I did? You know what I mean? Some of them lies that were in that video that we talked about, and people are still repeating that. These people don't even have enough love in their heart for you to go back and say, you know what? We missed it. We missed it. We didn't tell you the whole truth. Got this lying preacher out here right now going out here telling people we the Black Russians. Every post this man make, it's another picture of some skinny behind looking clearly Russian individual with a burnt face, and then he want to make the claim that that's our people. I'm like, bruh. And then what's the response? All praise to the Most High. I knew the truth is just coming out it's just coming out all over the place. And I say, okay, let's take the time and let's look at this. Let's investigate this ourselves. Are these truly black folks? And if they're black folks, is that us? Well, we looked into it. It ain't us. And they ain't black. So we listen to the people who actually make the paintings themselves. And they're like, heck no, we ain't making these people black. The reason why their faces are turning black is because we paint it in layers, and the layer that the face is on wood. And so paint, over time, it will wear out. And guess what? The first thing is going to come through? The wood. But they'll come out and tell, oh, this is our people. We all over the place, y'all. And it didn't even take, the thing is, it didn't even take me that long to look it up. I just asked the question. I said, let me look into this. Let me just look. Let me just take the time and look at this so that we're making sure that we're getting the most accurate information on this. I'm looking at it. It don't even take that long. The video that I showed you in the last video we uploaded. You got these, watch it, Dwayne. You got these clowns out here that are showing this video talking about, oh, this is, look, we got some old video of this is what the real Jews look like in Jerusalem. It was taken back in 1925. So I was looking for the video. I was like, okay, where's the original video? Let me look at the original video. I look up the original video. I was like, these Negroes, they done clipped up the video. They took stuff out of it. Because when you look at the whole video, that wasn't Jerusalem. That was somewhere else. And these people don't even care enough to come back and say, you know what? I screwed up. They won't even do that. Instead, they'll just keep it right on rolling. But see, a lot of our people are used to that, especially in the church. The pastor can get away with all kinds of stuff. He can sleep with everybody and everything. He'll sleep with the pew if you want to. He sleep with everything and everybody. And then what do people say? Instead of calling them out and say, get the, you know what, out of here. Well, you know, hey, listen, all have sinned. Hey, we ain't all perfect up in here. And so you tolerate foolishness instead of having a standard and drawing a line and saying, no, enough is enough. You don't know what you're talking about. Get your butt up out of here. And that's it. Nobody's saying, like for us, for example, we're not saying we know everything. Heck no, we don't know everything. But we have to have a standard when it comes to people who don't even want, you want to participate in a conversation about moving forward in progress, but you won't even take the time to read. You're just so lazy and I don't, you want me to read it? Just tell me what to believe. I'll just sit up here because all I know, the Bible said this, and you read in Colossians chapter 2, verse 3, it said that you supposed to do this, and that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to read that. I ain't read no white man book. Leave me alone. I ain't read no white man book. I ain't read no white man book. All I got is the Bible here. That's all I'm going to read. Ugh. Leave me alone. This is my Bible. My bottle Bible. That sounds the same, don't it? You leave me alone. I don't want to listen to that. I'm just going to give you the scriptures here. That's all I'm going to do. Okay, you give me scriptures. Okay, well, how about this book here? Let's look at this book here. This is a history book. It was actually, someone who did some excavations, and I don't want to hear that. That's coming from the white man. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on. Oh, I'm going to sing. You know how when mess be breaking out in the church and the first thing they want to do is tell the choir to get up and sing. Anything to distract from, wait a minute now, but the house is on fire, man. You may want to get up out of here. I don't want to hear any of that. I can't tell you how many times I come by people and I'm trying to have a conversation. I'm like, hey, listen, you may want to check out this source here. Here's another book here. Here's another book here. I don't want to hear that. See, that's the first time. See, that's what happens. The moment, I can't tell you how many times people have said it. The moment you start reading them books, see, that's going to lead you straight to confusion and hell. How many times? Oh my goodness. If I start reading books, I'm going to be confused. When I tell you the amount of ashy, slavish Negroes that done said that to me, I'm reading too many books, so you're leading people into confusion. That is straight out of the plantation. I mean, you right in the plantation. I mean, you literally, your street is called Plantation Street. That's where you live. If you talking like that. And some people, I can't even have a dialogue with them, a simple dialogue, because everything they're saying is all scriptures. All of it is scriptures. Because that's all they know. And I try to be as patient with people as possible, but I say, you're clearly not getting what I'm saying. Okay, you got your scriptures, but these are other resources that I'm not, hey, look at this. These are actual historical records. These are historical records. Take a look at it and then make up your mind from there. So again, like I said before, in this window of time that we're in right now, if you are a lazy person in any way, if you're a non-reader, I know for here, you ain't going to have any place here. Not on this platform, nowhere. But even beyond this platform, if you're a person that refuses to read, refuses to investigate on any level, like in the example I just gave just a little bit earlier, it's going to have real consequences. Stop just taking people's word for it on social media and begin to start investigating these things on your own. Family, I listen to a lot of these Negroes right now that try to get into low-key geopolitics. They want to try to read the tea leaves about what's going on in Iran and what's going on in Israel right now. And they want to start trying to triangulate and say, see this one, and then they want to throw the Bible in it. Negroes, y'all, how you going to talk about what's going on in the Middle East and you don't even understand why we still ain't saw why Negroes are shooting each other here? Did you see the article? It was some article that came out. Chicago, the people of Chicago are celebrating. Why are they celebrating, Dwayne? I'll tell you why. They were celebrating because they finally, after months of debate, they have finally come to an agreement that they are taking a stand to come out with a declaration to a ceasefire in Gaza. Yes, you heard that right. Yes, you can look it up right now. They literally, there was some people, a lot of people in Chicago, not saying everybody, they are ecstatic because they have finally come to a conclusion that there needs to be a ceasefire in Chicago. I mean, yeah, there you go, a ceasefire in the Middle East. You can't even get a ceasefire in Chicago. What Gaza got to do with this? Why are you worrying about Gaza? So for some of y'all, let me just be clear with you. Because do I have something here? I got something that's close enough. Let me grab this real quick. I got something here. Hold on, y'all. It's coming. Some of y'all Negroes, let me turn this inside out. Some of y'all Negroes are so lazy, you won't pick anything up to read it yourself. So instead, what you do is you get on YouTube and you look for someone to tell you what to believe. And you got a lot of these dusty people that get up here. You know, you seen them. And they get all dressed up like this. And it'd be a lot of these sisters too, prophetess so-and-so. And she say, y'all family. And bruh, they have, when I tell you, they have thousands of views. It'd be like 26, 50,000 views. And she up here like, family, I just want to tell you that, you know, I was in prayer the other day and the Lord told me that I had a dream. And what I saw Biden, you know, for the first time, he didn't need assistance in speaking clear. And it was weird because he was speaking clear, but as I looked closer in the dream, I saw it was like serpents coming out of his, it was coming out of his mouth. And I asked the voice that was directing me, and what are these serpents coming out of his mouth? And each serpent took turns and they started telling me what the truth of what was going on and all of this stuff. And then, you know, then I had another dream and what I saw is Kanye West. Oh, I see that he's going to marry another white woman. Yes. And the white woman is going to be dressed. She ain't going to be wearing a lot of clothes. In fact, she's going to be walking around the streets butt naked. And what I sense in my spirit is that the nakedness, it speaks to transparency in the hour that we're in right now. And so while the world is coming against him for allowing his wife to walk up and down the streets butt naked, what I sense in my spirit is that it speaks of transparency that we must have in this hour. Oh, it keeps going. And bruh, these Negroes will take that and will run with it. Y'all think I'm lying? Do you think I'm lying? Okay, let's rewind. Do y'all remember Nick Cannon? You know how many Negroes lined up with a prophecy about him when he said something about Hebrews and people them fell out and would say, see, he's the prophet. Don't you dare put your mouth on him. You too old, Dwayne. You don't know what you're talking about. See, it's the old people. They don't know what they're talking about. See, I sense in my, okay, I got to get my thing again. I sense in my spirit that the Lord is going to use Nick Cannon in a miraculous way. And what's going to happen, he's going to lead our young people. He's going to lead them back to the promised land. And that's what I sense in my spirit. See, I'm doing all of this dramatic stuff because, see, many of y'all like that. And you pay all kinds of attention to these clowns. Nick Cannon, yes. And guess what happened with Nick? And you see where Nick Cannon is now, right? And where those prophets are. You go back to those prophets and say, well, you said Nick Cannon was supposed to be a prophet. Ah, shut up. See, the devil is using you right now. All of a sudden, the devil is using you now. But you said that Nick Cannon was he was gonna start teaching us a new thing. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. And then the people in the chat be right along with them. Like, that's right. See, do you see how the devil be coming in? Child, he don't know what they talking about. They don't know. Touch not God's anointed and all this other stuff. And then you have people talking about TDJ. Here we go again. I got to keep it going. I got to keep it going. I sense in my spirit that TD Jakes is something about him. It was something about his walk. And I actually saw in my dream he was going to say something. Oh, it's a word that's coming into me. It's it's hard to put it into words. I'm trying to see something's coming into me. It's coming in. It's something that the Spirit is giving to me. It's coming. It's swallowed. I don't know what that means, but it's something in my spirit that's coming up. And I keep seeing the word swallowed and all of that. And people will eat that up. And I'm like, y'all, you really need to do all that to tell us about TD Jakes? You really needed all of that? You really did. But people just eat it right up. But then you tell people, hey, listen, you need to read a book. No, not a book. We're Legion. We don't want to hear. Don't give me a book. We don't want books. Don't want to read, but you want the dramatics. This ain't the time for all of that, family, as I close. This ain't the time for that. So if you're just joining us, I would really encourage you to go back to the beginning of this video. I'm trying to tell you, we're in a time right now. I'm laughing. We can laugh a little bit, but on the real, I have people that I can point to right now. They're no longer with us. And being a person that's a non-reader and lazy will get you killed. So you don't want to, in this hour, you do not want to surround yourself with people who are like that. Okay, so as as days go on, when it comes to your health, for example, make sure you're asking a lot of questions. If your doctor is telling you this, that, or whatever, don't just take his word for it or her word for it. Investigate, ask questions, okay? Ask other people. Go online, get a second opinion, get a third opinion, get a fourth opinion. And someone may think you're being obsessive. No, you're being careful and you're trying to be informed. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. Do you understand what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to your health. There's a direct correlation between your health and the condition, your spiritual condition. There's a direct connection between the two. And this is why we put such an emphasis on that, because we know that once people get this cleared up, then spiritually they'll get more attuned and then they can make better decisions and their discernment is heightened so that they can make the right choices and decisions for their life without some clown on YouTube telling you what to think and what to act and where to go and all this stuff. Don't you know you got some fools out here right now trying to tell you to pack up and move to Africa? Come on. And people don't lined up and going right along with it. They're going right along with it. There's some fools out here telling you need to sell everything and we bought a whole bunch of land and we all gonna live together, and you never met these people in your life. And there's people that go right along with it. How much further how much more? Some of y'all, I'm talking to you ladies out here who are married, you may be wondering why your husband, I be trying to share with him some of these things and he ain't really listening. Don't listen to these other fools out here that will try to whisper in your ear and tell you, well, child, he just need to get saved. That's what it is. No, in some cases, these brothers got a lot of sense. You just need to catch up. You understand what I'm saying? Don't be listening just because your husband may not be into all the videos or whatever that you're into. It doesn't mean that he's off. There are many times he's right on. And maybe he's witnessed a lot of stuff that you've been part of and seen the whole ups and downs of it. And as a man, he's going to be like, why am I going to be on it? I tell you what, I'll do my job to love you and take care of you and all that. And you want to join all that? You want to be a Hebrew this week and then want to be an Indian next week? You know what I'm saying? You do that. But honey, I'm here. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, you don't want to, just toss him out. These husbands got some good sense. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so I hope you got what we were trying to communicate tonight, and is that the value of being a good listener, a reader, someone that loves, develop a basic, see the importance of reading, and investigating and asking questions, and not being so freaking lazy. You can't be lazy, and so, like I said, around here in these parts, I know on our channel, like I said again, I love conversing with people on our page and stuff like that. But you ain't gonna be coming up here and just running your mouth, and then once I start asking questions, you go silent, and I start saying, "Hey, listen, you bringing this information? Okay, good. Where are the links? Where's the source? Where's all that?" And I heard it from somebody else. You better get away. You better get the hell away from me with that. Not in this day. Not in this day. Okay, it's far too important right now for us to be good investigators. We need investigators in this day and age. I'm just being very serious. So that's it, family. Like I said, I don't want to keep you too long, but I wanted to talk this through a little bit, because it's a very, very, very serious time right now. And we gotta get ourselves together. We got to clean house, and we got to draw the lines. We got to draw lines, because enough is enough. Enough is enough of the laziness. You're not there ain't gonna be no more lazy people sitting at the table. The lazy people gotta go. The non-readers, the book phobia people, they gots to go. You don't like a book, then get up out of my face. You don't want to read. You don't want to read an article. Get out of my face. You don't want to watch this lecture here where the guy is breaking down stuff and making it clear for you. Get out of my face, because there ain't no time for you. Keep it moving. Stay on TikTok. That's it. Love you guys very much. Listen, you guys take care, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.